it's interesting. So um, when you look at the waveform of things, right?
Yeah.
Um, you can zoom in here. All this squiggly lines, that's width right here. That's basically saying, hey, there's a little bit of width there. Um, and also, what's interesting about this punchy kick, so there, look at these transients in the very beginning. It's like it has a quick spike up and goes down and in. But then the tail is very not kick like. Um, well,
It's
this
kind of
one,
more like it
this
looks more like a hat or something.
a little bit maybe closer to us. It's hard. Like it doesn't. Things don't have to be like there's no rule to anything.
Yeah.
I only bring up the waveforms to sort of like say, hey, these are what um, the like recognize, like be able to be like visually see something and sort of understand what it means. So if I move over to your thicky subby, like look at this. This there's no width, but you can see it squaring off of the top, right? Which
Yeah.
means that it's compressed. Now both of these are X and L, right? So
Yeah.
I one of the things I've realized from their samples is um,
They crush their shit.
they hella do it, yeah. So if I was to take, I'm going to Control T just to make an audio track, right? And I'm going
Yeah.
to choose this to resample and put it to record. So basically, whatever is played, it's going to record. Um, I could
Yeah,
use
I
a
remember you saying too from the video, like look at like the snare is like crushed or something, and it's like
mm-hmm.
just
Yeah,
no
it's
transient.
yeah, it's hella crush. Like, and you can fucking modify it. And like, I actually used XNL snare that looked not like this one, that looked closer to this one. I was able
Yeah.
to make it work. I actually definitely made something like this work. So, like again, it's not this is how things work. It's just knowing that it is understanding how it affects everything. So
Yeah.
if I go back to the kick, right? This is by itself. Let's do this one that already has it a bit squared off. Now I'm going to go ahead and get a transient shaper here. I'm going to add it to here. Also, just to make sure. Okay, cool. Um, I was just making sure there's no other effects because I think the snare. We have two different snares. I actually need the clap. And sorry, just because ADHD right here. Is this the same settings?
Um, I think so.
Yeah. Well, a little bit different.
Maybe.
It's a little bit
I
different. I'm just gonna
I'd
do
have to pull up the project. I don't
it.
remember off the
No,
top of my
it's,
head to be
it's
honest.
fine. I'm just gonna do this because we do not need two compressors. Anyway, sorry, ADHD. So back to this.
Yeah, that might have
um,
been accidental too. Like I said,
mhm.
this is from May.
Yeah.
So it's quite old. I've maybe
Nice.
gone back to like mess with it a few times, but it's this is like kind of like halfway through where I was like,
Hmm.
this is a song that kind of has potential, and I'm not gonna try and fuck it up anymore. So I'm gonna leave it for now until I know what to do with it.
I like
And
I like I like I like this song. I do. I think
yeah,
again it definitely is cleaning up, and I like it. So all right.
yeah,
So if I was to record this by pressing the record button, whoops, it's the same sample as what's currently here. Now, if I add a clipper, actually hold up. sorry, I'm gonna get rid of the resampler. I'm gonna get the because this is the same thing essentially. This is the reason why I got this fucking VST. Poly? No, not poly. It's fuck. What's it called? Scope, polyscope. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's cool.
Size scope. There we go. All right, so we get the size scope here because it's basically resample. It's doing the same thing as a resample. So now we can get. There we go.
Oh, he's back.
See. All right.
I don't know. My computer was just shitting itself, but I'll talk to you guys soon.
Peace out, dude.
Oh, there's two. There we go. All right, cool. So, all right, this is basically what the resample is doing, right? So now we see the waveform. We see where the cutoff is here. We have it's off. There we go. Right now, if I take off soft clipping, is basically what it previously was, because the soft clipping is adding more compression. This was already compressed. So now we're doubly compressing it, which would be a bad idea unless we start messing up with these knobs. So if we put the speed up, and then we add the attack is going to make the initial transients go up.
Big facts.
Yeah.
I see. That's a big difference.
There's a very big difference.
That's a thick boy.
Mhm.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now, if we add this, there you go.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Fat.
You don't want to do the sustain. But the pump does this. And then you start adding a sustain. And I get more attack. Now you have a dildo.
You have a butt plug.
A butt plug, exactly. Actually,
Or a goldfish.
I'm just saying, for me
Or a goldfish butt plug.
Yeah, for me personally, I always go when it comes to kicks and snares. I like to go for the butt plug.
It's the butt plug that smiles back.
Now I'm turning it off.
Oh, ew. Much better.
You hear how it kind of like dips in and out.
Well, I can't hear the actual audio right now, but I can see the waveform and how it's reacting.
Mm-hmm.
And it already looks like a sexier kick. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But
You could also before this. Now again, this is like this is kind of the TLDR. This is the reason why the transient shaper is awesome. I fucking love the transient shaper. Now, if I was again, I'm trying to make this sound good, and this also we also have to listen to it in the context of everything else. So with the vocals, so I'm gonna add an EQ before transient shaper. Transient shaper technically you should do at the end because it has soft clipping. It is a compressor of some sort, but also has the transients. I always put it at the end. I'm going to, we have the EQ, right? And you can move things. See how it now, all right, so if you zoom in here, the way this waveform kind of works is not too different from if let's say I was to get in auto pan, right? And I'll you know, it doesn't have to be on. I just want to kind of show if I put the phase all the way here, the rate doesn't matter, but I'll zoom in to the rate. But you change the shape, and I invert it. is I'm not sure if this makes sense at all. There you go. So you see how this kind of dips in and goes like that? You see how this kind of dips up and then goes in?
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to
So
show
you're
like
trying to line up the wave
the
essentially.
yeah, the shape. So what I'm doing with the auto pan here is not too indifferent from some of the stuff that's coming up here. Um, what does that mean for the kick? Not really much. But the only reason why I bring that up is because it you could do the exact same shit with this auto pan when you're manipulating audio form. You're able to do weird shit like this um, to your bass or your anything, really anything. And understanding how you're able to manipulate this sound beyond just percussion really uh, sort of like opens up so many options. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because then you have a lot of customization, right? I think
Yeah,
the whole thing is like everybody's using different tools to get a similar product, but like
exactly.
if you
So
want to stand out, this
you
is
see
how.
how like we're using EQ and transient shaper to make it look like this, and then you see auto pan here, a visual reference that's not too unsimilar to that, right? And like
Yeah.
if you basically did this, then you're essentially doing that. Now this sounds like shit, obviously,
I
because
can't hear it, so I trust you.
but you can see.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
very not
yeah,
pretty. This is not a butt plug I would use.
yeah. But it's definitely not a butt plug I would use either. But you do see like how the visual representation of the audio form here can kind of replicate to other places and other effects. So like the reason why this polyscope tool is so good is because you can kind of see how whenever you make a change to anything in your rack, it um, you know like this. Let's say this. This to me looks a hell lot better than that.
Yeah. Looks controlled versus like just kind of wild and out.
Yeah. By the way, I have all of this audio recorded, um, and I'll post it up. But is there a reason why you
Gotcha.
cannot hear whatever I'm doing?
You have great
This is why I use
ideas and great
visualizing
energy.
tools to help me. Um,
True. Facts. I need to get this.
yeah. I think Polyscope. Yeah, Polyscope's pretty cheap. You might be able to find it for free.
I might have a good job lined up. I don't want to like
Jinx
speak too
yourself.
loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, I hope it works out, man. You definitely you have such a positive energy. I hope it works out. Um,
crossing the fingers.
but yeah. So the reason why I kind of like I'm breaking this down like very, you know,
On the EQ.
it, I just want to like really like I want you to understand like the ideas and like you practice it, you can implement this. I have all of this recorded. You're gonna have be able to reference it again. Um,
True.
just seeing how all of this affects a waveform is a piece of it, but in the end, it's how it sounds, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to basically say like, look how this affects the waveform, but in the end, all that matters is it sounds good. At the same time, it sounding louder does not necessarily mean it sounds good in the whole track. So um, you saw this is what the waveform looks like now. Look how fucking flat that is,
Yeah.
right? So
Looks like it's taking a big fat dump.
yeah, which is that could be fine depending on what you're doing. If you're doing like big house, if you're doing like big bass house or whatever the fuck, you want to put a
True.
fucking thumpy ass big kick. but I feel like we want something that shapes nice.
Yeah.
You can feel like that gives you kind of the same feeling, but there's kind of a wave to it.
I swear to God, I use that exact kick, bro.
It feels
the in
like
your
a hit.
house.
Yeah, literally in this one.
Yeah.
It sounds like almost identical. I thought there was a double kick happening. I was going through my IDs to figure out which one I wanted to do an art piece for next.
But I mean, this does sound better, right? I think.
Yeah. No,
To
I
that?
agree.
It
feels
has
like it carries like more of like a
Mhm.
heavier punch to it as opposed to more of just like a bounce.
Yeah. So here's the other thing: is in Ableton, see how I have this area highlighted on the bottom left. You can see it's 306 6 milliseconds. The duration on the bottom left. Do you see where if I move to it, it disappears. So
No, I know where it is. It's
Yeah.
like I can't read because of the quality, but I know you showed me it before
It's-
over in the
okay.
bottom left.
So yeah, in the bottom left, there's like time selection, start, blah blah blah, and it says basically 306 milliseconds. This sample is 250 milliseconds based off here. Obviously, the transients and everything else. You can also use this to kind of. I actually haven't quite figured out how Polyscope works in the sense of being able to measure. So for the waveform here, I'm thinking fade out a little bit. You can see how that works, right?
Yeah. To be that long, I will say.
Yeah, it's already
it
very
felt
short.
Like it was, yeah.
If we were to add it with the I'm gonna turn on the bass. Wait, hold on. So there's no bass here. There's vocals. All right.
You said my back, but I see you lacking class. I'm asking you for credit, but you only taking cash. And fling the fire, you gon' really make me mad. Say the
All right. You know what needs to be there actually? Before I continue on, we need some fucking trap subs.
True. That was what I was gonna put in, like maybe around like 5 or 6, but I just never got around to it. And like the whole intro to me, I was just like, I know what this needs, but I just haven't fucking done it.
No, that's fine.
But you're right, you're spot on.
You said my back, but I see you lacking class. I'm asking you for credit, but you only take.
All right, hold on. Doom, boom, boom, right? Something like that.
Yeah. A little bit of sub-glide.
What is the root note?
Great question.
C?
It's C. I was like G or C.
God damn it! I'm so fucking tired of doing C. Fucking assholes.
I'm sorry. Don't yell at me. I made it 5 months ago. Or no, whoops, 3 months ago. Or
You said my
5 months
back,
ago.
but you said
I'm gonna take the kick off real quick.
you said my back, but I see you like. You said my back. You said my. You said my back. You said my back, but you said my back. You said my back, but I see you
There
like.
you go. Hollow. All right. A little trappy bit. A little trappy boy.
You said my back, but you said my back, but I see you. You said my back, but I see you lacking class. I'm asking you.
If it makes you feel better, none of my new tracks are in C.
It's fine. I was also tired of D. Everybody does D. It's just
I've
like
been doing A.
my
and
biggest
other
problem
shit.
is I've been doing the last not the last one, but the last 2 or 3 beyond that, I did C, C sharp, and C again, and it's like I was like, "Fuck me! Why are you gonna do this?"
Oh.
You said my back, but I see you lacking
I know what
class.
you mean.
You said my back, but I see you lacking class. I'm asking you for credit, but you only taking cash. And fling the fire, you gon' really make me mad. Said the shit is fine, you don't really wanna brag. Done for an hour just to try and fill a stash. Every time I buy from you, you treating me like ass. This ain't cat and mouse, you ain't no fucking game of tag. I'm not paying you for but less. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass. I got picked. You said my back, but I see you lacking class. I'm asking you for credit, but you only taking cash. And in the fire, you gon' really make me mad. Said the shit is fine, you don't.
Yeah. So with trap subs, you can go fucking high on the
Just murder it.
on the yeah. There's an LSD song where they start off with trap subs and it goes to fucking like 8 or some shit over here.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I heard it. I wouldn't doubt I heard it at that back to back somewhere.
I think it's in Rad. One sec. Let me see. SoundCloud. Stream Rad. It's definitely in that album for sure.
Blast off. We hear flow so loud, but I'm hot Krakatoa. Bad like Michael, rap like Tony.
You hear how high that sub is?
You said my back, but I see you lacking class.
Just
I'm asking
fucking
you for
crank.
credit.
Yeah.
I think he did play that though. I have to see.
I do love that song quite a
He
lot.
played few different like rap trap stuff, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I get a lot of my style from those streams, so it's not too surprising that I would try and reference them.
You said my back,
He's
but I
pretty
see you
sexy, I'm not gonna lie.
Also,
Just damn, how you
Gonna-
make me whoop?
gonna need some here's the other thing. I have so my friend my boy Slink made a Google Sheet. Whoops. With you can put in, so it would be something like this is 300 153. It's either 153 or 77. I think it's 170. I think it's 77. Maybe it's that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 19 milliseconds. So we'll make this, what did I say, 19?
19.
You said my back, but I see you lacking class. I'm asking you for credit.
Cool. I'm also going to put this here because that's going to be necessary. Now that we have the sidechain amount, may as well put it everywhere. Oh yeah, I meant to ask you. So is this all off? Was this all off?
Where is that?
This was on one of your groups. The Pro L was definitely off, and the glitch was off. Like,
a
Go ahead.
lot of it might just be off, honestly, because there was a lot of stuff. Let me actually pull up the project too, so I can reference as well. But a lot of stuff was either like in an intermittent spot where I was like, maybe I'll save this for later,
mhm.
and then like I know that there's a the top kick or the top layer kick is always the ghost side chain, so that's like
Yeah. Well, this was all for the this was all on the base. This part right here, but
yeah, I
when
definitely
I-
need to look.
yeah, it's fine. When I looked at it, I was like, most of it was already off, and I had some of these VSTs, so I just assumed all of them were off. But you just tell me if like there's one that like really makes a difference, then you know
Yeah.
that's fine. I was just moving this side chain over here. Also, this doesn't need to be here because we're going to put those on each of the bases. And the perks will have this. And the symbols will have this, but probably more attack. Probably more attack. I'm just doing this, but I'm sure I'm going to have to change that later. And then this will go on the effects. Anyway, all right.
Yeah, all of that is off. The only thing that's on is the glue compressor.
All right, cool.
I think initially what I did was I started the idea like that, and as I went, I just kept breaking it down into smaller stuff and like applying it per track. Because at that point, a few of the sounds stopped kind of like meshing with the sound design from there forward, and I just kind of tried to make it more intricate and like focused. But even then, there's a lot of stuff that like I was playing with or in the process of playing with, and basically like having it not pan out or go in a different direction. So in that respect, there's probably a few things that are like just puzzle pieces that were like gap fillers that kind of make sense enough, but not really like sealing the deal.
Okay.
So like the formant bases and a lot of that stuff, still a little bit dirty, but that's more or less the main
Okay.
like
So,
juggle. Everything
yeah,
else is like
at that layer, I'm just gonna keep it off. Well, I'll delete it, obviously. And then as I go through some of these bases, I don't think that we're gonna hit it tonight anyway. But
Yeah.
future reference, when we go through some of these bases, I'll probably ask you as I go, like how important this will be or not be.
yeah.
The reason why I wanted to do this in context, though, with this kick mostly was because, again, we got the kick in a nice place, but does it fit, right? So like we went through this whole conversation of like, oh, you know, it sounds good, like the kick by itself. This is that's a whoops, sorry, that's off, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Whoops. Like this is a nice sounding kick, honestly. I like it. Honestly, if I was to resample this and move it into here, I mean, we don't need to do that. I'll just keep these effects here.
Yeah.
That's a
I
good
see what you
looking
mean,
kick.
though.
That kick. So this is I brought in the Nemesis kick over here for you. This is the recreation I made of the Nemesis kick. You can kind of see there's a lot of width here again,
Yeah.
and then evens out. But you see how it goes high up here and then dips in like a butt plug.
Yep. That's the big butt plug.
It's the fatty butt plug.
You got the
I was
thicky and then you got the fatty.
so I'll keep the fatty here. We'll call it the fatty actually. So if you ever get your situation with the let's different
A12.
with getting 12.
Yeah, I have the thing downloaded.
What's
I've
that?
been like hesitant to install it because then I don't want to like sidebar all my 11 projects. So I want to make sure that like at least the most of the projects that I want to like fiddle with will be like just kind of like done and sealed, and that way I don't feel like I have to re-import everything into Ableton 12, and then because I found something new that I want to do with it, then I'm like, well, fuck, you know, I might as well just use that energy on new shit and you know keep chugging with what I've learned.
Yeah, and that's totally fine.
I got some good ideas cooking, but I've been holding off, man.
I think it's good to practice is good. So for now,
Definitely been getting weird with it though. Just fucking...
weird. I also like weird.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna unsolo, so we have everything. And I also know, I think this is so. You have the kicks layered with the snare with the claps, which is fine. And the as long as it's not layered with the snare, unless it's like correct. I don't know how to really not correct, but it has to be good, I guess. And we'll figure that out. But I think this whole intro is just only kicks and claps, right?
Yeah, it was pretty simple, honestly.
Yeah, this is good.
That and like there was
Simple is good.
There's like the bells or like the melody bells or whatever. The bang, 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 kind of like
Yeah, which is very trap.
yeah.
trying to.
Get weird.
Does it change anything? Okay. This is cool. I like this reverb. This reverb sounds good.
It may or may not be too much, because I will say, like, I didn't design a lot of the track to have a lot of like presence in like the high end and stuff, but also I wasn't finished with a lot of the saw basses.
Yeah.
So I mean that could go any direction. Like it might be fine now, but might need to come down a little bit later on, depending on like what goes in and out of the bass arrangement.
Mhm.
So speculatively, good for now, but maybe adjust later. Or at least that was my thought process, like, at least in this frame of the project, like, before I had sent it to you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm gonna also add a transient shaper onto this, which if I do it, then I'm going to delete the glue compressor, because the glue compressor has soft clip on, which is the exact same thing as this transient shaper. Although I do like putting transient shaper before the reverb usually.
You get a cleaner signal going out.
Yeah,
Like, with the reverb, it's just a little muddy. Trying
you
to
can
edit
hear
it
that
after.
initial transient like really pops.
True.
So let's pull the attack back. There you go. I feel. There we go. There we go. All right. And I
Now it's
did
feeling
this.
wicked.
Yeah. Now I think I could be wrong. I don't think this is the right tone in the sense of key. So
Very possible as well. So
I'm gonna bring this up real quick. This is the initial transient is C sharp. It's actually not too far, actually, right? Oh, hold on. I'm not moving that. Well, yeah. It's a
I'm
C.
not gonna lie, you probably know more about than I do. I tried to eyeball shit a lot, and I'm not
Yeah.
always right.
That's fine. Look, we don't have to be perfect about things. In the end, if it sounds good, it sounds good. I'm just using these monitoring tools to help guide us the right way. So
No, I agree.
there's this
And
transient.
that makes sense too, because I like, yeah, I mean, I tried, but it's nice to know I was a little close. But Jesus,
No, this is pretty close.
that makes sense.
So this transient is A sharp. This is I'm looking at the highest transients. This one's A sharp, and then this one is D. D, we're in C, is the root, right?
Yeah, see.
And I'm assuming it's C minor, if I was to guess. But I could be wrong. I'm just guessing it because it sounds very dark.
It's yeah, C minor.
Okay, so
With the root note being looks like A minor.
okay, and I said this was A, right? So oh, this is A sharp. Okay, I'm looking over at my little wheel, my wheel of time, my
No worries.
all right, so C, inside of C minor, we could have A flat.
And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if this is like a different scale or something, but to me, when I was setting up like the initial thing, it was like C major, C minor, F3, C major, C minor, down to B, and then back up to the original arrangement. So even some of that, I'm not gonna lie, I liked kind of how it sounded, but it may not even. I think that might need an adjustment somewhere, but like I do like, even if it isn't correct, that there's like a dissonance to it. But I think that might also be off.
It could work. I think you want the core meat to sound um, as in tune as you possibly can do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. But the one thing you don't want it to do is throughout the whole song be a half a step or a step and a half off of the root. Otherwise, it's going to sound very jarring, and the frequencies are going to kind of muddle each other up. So
Yeah.
either you want it to be at the same root note or the relative or one of the notes that are within the key. And so what I was looking at here is so A sharp, right, could not work great. And also we are on D, which is so neither of these work, which is actually good because I could just like do this. All right, so I put this marker here because this is C, right? And now this one's still A sharp. So what I could do, maybe I bring down this guy. Yeah. And then what is the one next to it? I mean, A flat works. So I could do.
I think that was. Honestly, I get so confused sometimes. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm looking down
Between
here,
all
by
of
the
them.
way, on the EQ
Yeah.
to
No,
sort of.
I know, I get that. I was saying like with the keys and like what's in key or out of key and.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I've
I fucking.
I have a right next to on my left I have a key, like the I forgot what it's called. It's basically a wheel that shows you all the notes and the relatives and their corresponding notes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I also, since I got mini meters and it shows me like what the waveform like with what the key is,
Mhm.
even for like just regular sounds, it's actually helped out a lot in just like getting stuff like that oriented and making more sense with some of my more recent projects. But a lot of I was like, I'll get to that later.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's it's
This makes sense though. I
It's
see
very-
what you're doing and like because that I have the correlation too because mini meters is like here's where it's hitting.
Yeah.
And it tells you okay, well the root note is like C minor, C major, whatever. But seeing it also here with the EQ and how you're lighting it up makes sense because then that's where each of those individual notes are at their highest, or that's how you can tell it's the root note. You can amplify it
yeah.
and change it.
And as long as that helps, I'm happy. And
It
honestly,
makes a lot of sense.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, if it was up to, if it, this is me trying to make things work, I would probably
Yeah.
choose a different sample just to make it, because like this cut is ridiculous, to be honest. But
Yeah.
like the things I'm doing here, but I'm trying to like the reason why I'm doing it this way is to kind of like show the process, right? So we got the
But it
cut,
is what you got.
right? It just like it's fine. Like you can make shitty sounds sound good. You can make things that don't work with the mix sound good, and the whole process is important because it's understanding how it works. It's like it's the journey, right? It's trying to see how everything works. Again, if it were up to me, I would probably just change the sample, but I think it's more fun to try and see what we can do to make it work. And what we're now doing is like really like making incisions here. And then this EQ, we're going to just do like, let's do, all right, so there's too much decay on the reverb. Wait. I'm going to use this. I'm not sure exactly why it works this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a reverb that I do understand.
Yeah, convolution reverb just is like a very widthy, girthy reverb, and it's kind of like if you're putting things down a hall. It's not always great.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
It seems too inconsistent. Is
It's
my issue.
dramatized reverb.
Yeah.
Like for no reason.
Like this to me already is perfect.
Yeah. It's more subtle. A lot less
Okay.
muddy.
I want to place it with the bass just for a second because I want to see, because I feel like the kick should be shorter, but I'm not entirely sure. Here we go. Right. Oh, okay. Is this on? Oh, it's the other kick. God damn it.
It happens.
Yeah.
It had the big one.
Yeah. The big one sounds good. I still feel like it should be slightly shorter, but I'm going to hold up on that because I have no way to